Today I'll show you the correct recipe for P.F. Chang's beef with broccoli. We'll go over the precise ingredients and techniques they use at the restaurant, and I'll reveal all the secrets behind their signature sauce that makes this dish one of their most popular menu items. Now, for their beef with broccoli, P.F. Chang's uses flank steak. Because of its distinctly beefy flavor, this is one of the most popular cuts for stir-fry dishes in Chinese restaurants. One of the main things many cooks struggle with when preparing this cut at home is how to section it properly. So here I've got a 9-ounce flank steak. The first thing you'll notice is these muscle fibers running along the length of the portion. Because of these long grains, if you slice it incorrectly, it can become inedibly chewy. The first thing we'll need to do is make about 1.5-inch cuts lengthwise with the grain to get the meat into manageable pieces. Then take one of your sections, turn it perpendicular to you, and tilt your knife at about a 30 to 40 degree angle. Now slice the beef against the grain into about 1/8 inch pieces. If you're having problems getting them thin enough, just toss the steak in the freezer for about 20 to 30 minutes and this will firm it up, making it much easier to deal with. This is what the beef slices should look like if you've done it correctly. The next step is preparing the alkaline soy marinade. P.F. Chang's uses this on almost all their protein. This brine not only tenderizes the meat even further, but it also flavors the beef, seasoning it all the way through. And to make it, it's very simple. All you'll do is take 1 cup of water, and to that, add half a teaspoon of baking soda and stir to dissolve. This will raise the pH of the water and make it more alkaline. What this does is make it harder for protein bands in the meat to tighten during the high heat of wok cooking. This is what most Chinese restaurants use to give their proteins that fork-tender texture often associated with takeout-style stir-fry meat. If you've ever added baking soda directly to a protein and felt like it gave it an off flavor, using a brine like this is a way we can get all the tenderizing effects of baking soda without imparting such flavors. Then to the alkaline water, add 1/3 cup of soy sauce. For all the soy sauce in this video, we're using Lee Kum Kee's low-sodium version, the one in the green bottle, just like they do at the restaurant. Then we'll add the sliced flank steak to the brine. You'll want to marinate the meat for at least 2 hours. P.F. Chang's actually brines all their protein for 24 hours, and I have noticed longer marination times do improve both texture and flavor, so if you can swing it, I recommend at least a day. Just make sure you refrigerate it the entire time. For the beef with broccoli sauce, it's very similar to the dark sauce we've made in several other videos, with one key difference. We'll actually be turning the dark sauce into what they call Mongolian sauce. It's basically a dark sauce with extra sugar. So here's how to make it. We'll begin by adding 1/4 cup of water to a small pot. Next, toss in 1/4 cup of sugar and half a teaspoon of chicken base. They use Miner's original chicken base at the restaurant, although any Asian chicken bouillon powder like Knorr or Lee Kum Kee will also work for this step. Now bring the water up to a light simmer over medium heat and whisk until the sugar and chicken base are totally dissolved. Kill the heat, then toss in 1/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of Lee Kum Kee's mushroom-flavored dark soy sauce for color, 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce. They use Lee Kum Kee's Panda brand in the green bottle at the restaurant, although I recommend the premium oyster sauce because it's just better. And finally, 2 tablespoons of michu rice cooking wine. And if you can't find michu, you can substitute it with shaoxing, which is much more commonly available. Then you'll whisk everything together until all the ingredients are well incorporated. This is P.F. Chang's secret dark sauce they use in like half of their dishes. To turn the dark sauce into the Mongolian sauce, all you'll do is bring it up to a light simmer and add 5 tablespoons of sugar. Then whisk until the sugar is completely dissolved into the sauce. That's it. Super easy. Once it cools down, you can store the prepared Mongolian sauce in a covered container in the fridge for about a month. Now, one of the pitfalls of testing recipes dozens of times for these videos is I often get sick of eating the same thing over and over. And that's where the sponsor of this video, HungryRoot, comes in. HungryRoot is a meal prep and grocery delivery service that takes care of all of my meal planning for the week by recommending delicious and nutritional recipes and sending all of the ingredients directly to my doorstep. All you'll do is answer a few questions on their website, and they'll do all of the shopping and meal planning for you. So you're not just buying random food at the grocery store and trying to figure out what to make during the week. Everything is prepared for you based on what you want to eat. And the best part is most meals can be made in 15 minutes or less. I've worked with HungryRoot to get a special deal for everyone that likes these videos, so for a limited time you can get 40% off your first box, plus get free snacks in every box for life. So click the link in the video description or go to HungryRoot.com and use code FARMER. Once again, that's 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life at HungryRoot.com with code FARMER. Thank you to HungryRoot for sponsoring this video. After the marination, P.F. Chang's velvets their beef slices. If you've never heard of velveting, it's essentially a type of batter, usually made with egg and some sort of starch that helps keep the meat extra tender. Basically what it's doing is creating a layer between the protein and the cooking surface so it cooks more gently. To get started, let's drain the beef slices from the brine and pat them dry with paper towels. Drying the meat before velveting will help the batter more closely adhere to it. Then we'll add half an egg white and 1/8 teaspoon of white pepper. Mix the egg white and pepper into the beef with your hand until all the pieces are evenly coated. Next, toss in 1 tablespoon of potato starch and gently massage it into the beef slices so they're all covered. If you're having problems locating potato starch for this step, you can use cornstarch and it will work in much the same way. To finish, squirt in 1 teaspoon of neutral oil and give the meat a stir so it's evenly distributed. You'll want to let this sit for at least 30 minutes or up to overnight in the fridge before cooking. To cook the beef, let's heat several inches of a neutral frying oil to 350 degrees. Then, working in batches, fry the meat for about 2 to 3 minutes, making sure to agitate it while it's cooking so the meat doesn't clump together. This step in the velveting process is called passing through the oil. We're basically cooking the meat before the final stir fry, so the finishing process should only take us a couple of minutes to complete the dish. Once you notice the edges of the beef are starting to brown, remove them from the oil and drain on a wire rack or a plate lined with paper towels and set it aside. To prepare the broccoli, bring a large pot of water up to a boil and drop in 8 ounces of broccoli florets. Cook them for about 1 to 2 minutes or just until they're tender. After it's done, shock the vegetables in a bowl of ice water for about a minute to immediately stop the cooking. You'll really want to drain the broccoli well after they've cooked because they have a tendency to hold a lot of water, which will dilute the sauce. I typically use a salad spinner. The very last thing we'll need to do before cooking is to rehydrate the garlic. P.F. Chang's uses dehydrated minced garlic for most of their stir-fry dishes. You'll find this on the spice aisle and it'll come in little containers that look like this. To rehydrate it, you'll just pour over some warm water and let it sit for about 20 to 30 minutes. Then drain and squeeze the garlic of any excess liquid before using. You can prepare this a few days in advance and keep it in the fridge. You can also use it for anything you use fresh garlic for. Now, before we cook the beef with broccoli, it's essential to have everything ready to go beforehand. Because this is a stir-fry dish, it comes together within just a minute or two. So it's not really possible to prep as you're cooking it. To begin, we'll start by heating some neutral oil in a wok over medium heat. When you're up to temp, toss in 1 teaspoon of the rehydrated garlic, 2 teaspoons of minced ginger, and 1 tablespoon of sliced green onion. Cook the aromatics for about 10 to 20 seconds or just until they're fragrant. Then pour in 5 tablespoons of the Mongolian sauce. When you notice the edges of the sauce have started to bubble, add the prepared beef slices from earlier and toss them in the sauce. At this step, if you notice the sauce is reducing too quickly, you may need to lower the heat a bit. When all the beef is covered in the sauce, drizzle in a cornstarch slurry. This is just 1 teaspoon of cornstarch mixed with 2 teaspoons of water. Turn the beef in the sauce until you notice it's thickened and no longer appears runny. Next, toss in the broccoli and mix everything together well. Then kill the heat and drizzle in 1 teaspoon of toasted sesame oil. Toss everything together so it's evenly distributed, and this is it. This is P.F. Chang's famous beef with broccoli. And very quickly, before the taste test, if you're not able to find flank steak or if it's too expensive at the store, you can substitute other cuts like hanger, skirt steak, flap, or even chuck. Really, any long grain cut sliced thinly works well for stir-fry dishes. Now, let's give it a taste test and see how we've done. This is essentially the same recipe and process as the Mongolian beef with 2 or 3 extra ingredients. So if you like that one, I highly suggest you try the beef with broccoli because it's quite tasty and it's one of their most popular dishes. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out the P.F. Chang's Dynamite Shrimp video here. Thanks for watching. See you next time.